What would you do if your nation's sovereignty was constantly under attack? Imagine living in a country where the very foundation of leadership, a symbol of hope and resistance, is under threat from external and internal forces. Today, Burkina Faso finds itself at a pivotal moment. Reports have emerged that a staggering 5 billion CFA francs was allegedly offered to Burkinabe soldiers in an attempt to overthrow Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Captain Traoré is not just a leader, he is a symbol of Pan-Africanism, resilience, and a new vision for Africa. This shocking revelation raises critical questions. Who would go to such lengths to destabilize his leadership? What does this mean for Burkina Faso's future? And most importantly, how does this reflect the broader struggle for African sovereignty and unity? Before we delve into the details, don't forget to subscribe to the African Web and hit the bell icon. Stay informed about the transformative stories shaping Africa's future. The shocking revelation of a 5 billion CFA bribe attempt has sent shockwaves across Burkina Faso and beyond. The sheer scale of this alleged conspiracy underscores the lengths to which certain forces will go to destabilize a leader who stands for change. But why Captain Ibrahim Traoré? His leadership represents a radical shift from the status quo. His policies challenge entrenched systems that have long benefited external powers and their local collaborators. By targeting him, these forces aim to halt Burkina Faso's path to true sovereignty. His determination to put the needs of his people first has drawn both admiration and opposition, reflecting a growing divide between those pushing for African empowerment and those clinging to outdated systems. This alleged plot isn't just an attack on one leader, it's an attack on the very idea of African self-determination. The sum of 5 billion CFA francs isn't just a bribe, it's a clear indication of the resources some are willing to deploy to maintain control. This begs the question, why are they so afraid of losing? Could it be the wealth of Burkina Faso's natural resources, or is it the growing influence of Traoré's Pan-African ideology? Neocolonialism is not a new concept. Following the formal end of colonialism in the mid-20th century, many African nations were promised independence. However, this independence often came with strings attached. Economic systems, trade agreements, and political alliances were structured in ways that ensured continued reliance on former colonizers. Under Traoré's leadership, Burkina Faso has adopted bold reforms. He has pushed for local control over the nation's abundant natural resources, ensuring that the wealth of gold and minerals benefits the Burkinabe people instead of being siphoned off by foreign entities. His policies also focus on strengthening agriculture, fostering local industries, and improving access to education and healthcare. The alleged plot raises a critical question. Who is behind this attempt to overthrow Traoré and why? Burkina Faso's geopolitical significance and resource wealth make it a prime target for exploitation. Its vast reserves of gold and other minerals have long attracted the attention of multinational corporations and foreign governments. Destabilization, unfortunately, is not a new tactic in Africa's history. From political meddling to outright coups, foreign powers have consistently sought to undermine leaders who refuse to play by their rules. The alleged 5 billion CFA bribe only highlights the lengths some are willing to go to protect their interests. The African Union (AU) has long been viewed as the collective voice of the continent. Yet incidents like this expose its limitations. If the AU cannot protect visionary leaders like Traoré, then what is its role in Africa's future? The AU must rethink its approach to defending sovereignty. Beyond mere condemnation of external interference, it should build systems that actively shield leaders and nations from destabilization. But what exactly makes this ideology so powerful, and why does it provoke such fierce resistance? This philosophy directly contradicts the fragmented neocolonial structures that have kept Africa divided for decades. Traoré's vision aligns with historical figures like Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, and Thomas Sankara, leaders who dared to dream of an Africa free from external control. Like these icons, Traoré faces opposition because his vision threatens entrenched systems of power. Pan-Africanism is more than just a political stance, it is a transformative force. By advocating for greater regional integration, stronger intra-African trade, and unified policies on global platforms, Traoré is reshaping what African leadership looks like. His calls for Burkina Faso to collaborate more closely with neighbors like Mali and Niger reflect his belief in collective progress. Traoré's policies aim to ensure that the benefits of these resources are felt by local communities. This includes investing in infrastructure, creating jobs, and developing industries that add value to raw materials before they are exported. Such measures not only boost the national economy, but also reduce reliance on external aid and loans. The fight for economic independence isn't without challenges. Burkina Faso's attempts to renegotiate contracts with multinational corporations have faced significant resistance. Additionally, the country's agricultural sector, which forms the backbone of its economy, requires substantial investment to modernize and increase productivity. The alleged bribe to overthrow Traoré brings to light an uncomfortable truth. Instability in Africa often benefits external actors. By destabilizing progressive leaders, they ensure that the status quo remains unchanged. Traoré's resilience in the face of such threats underscores the importance of African nations standing together. While much of the attention on Traoré's leadership focuses on his political and economic reforms, his social policies are equally transformative. Recognizing that true development requires investing in people, Traoré has prioritized education, healthcare, and social welfare. Education is a cornerstone of Traoré's vision. By increasing access to quality schooling and emphasizing the importance of technical and vocational training, his government is equipping young people with the skills they need to thrive. Healthcare is another critical focus. Traoré's administration has worked to improve access to medical services, particularly in rural areas. This includes building new clinics, training healthcare workers, and subsidizing essential medicines. The alleged bribe against Traoré is not just a local issue. It reflects a broader global dynamic. Africa's vast resources and strategic location make it a key player on the world stage. However, its potential has often been undermined by external interference and internal divisions. Traoré's calls for a more assertive African presence in international forums highlight the need for the continent to demand its rightful place in global decision-making. This includes pushing for reforms in institutions like the United Nations, but Africa remains underrepresented. As Burkina Faso navigates the challenges posed by this alleged conspiracy, there are lessons for the entire continent. It also highlights the need for African nations to invest in their own security, economy, and people. The journey to true sovereignty is not an easy one. It requires courage, resilience, and unity. As the story of the alleged 5 billion CFA bribe unfolds, it's clear that the fight for Africa's sovereignty is far from over. Captain Ibrahim Traoré's leadership represents a beacon of hope in this struggle, but he cannot do it alone. What do you think about the challenges facing leaders like Traoré? How can Africa unite to protect its visionaries and build a brighter future? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to the African Web for more insights into the stories shaping our continent.